The Full Circle. With DC.
And a very, 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 very good day, everybody. My name is DC. I am the host of the Full Circle podcast. And I am so happy to say this, I have got two special guests with me. Their names, Michael and Rheanan Cearns. Boom, 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 boom.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for having us, Deb.
Hi, DC. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure to have you guys on. Now, these guys are absolute Donnies, absolute legends. We've just had the weekend together at the MotoGP. Do you want to share your experience about that? How did you guys find that?
Yeah, it's been a great weekend. Some really good racing, action-packed, even a restart for the main race itself, which always makes things a little bit more interesting. And some great company.
Been a brilliant time. If you ever get the chance to go to the MotoGP at Silverstone, it's a cracking weekend. It feels a little bit like a festival. Loads of stalls, loads of free giveaways, chances to meet the riders. You'll have a great time.
And we have not been paid for by
no affiliation whatsoever.
Yeah, so if you do, MotoGP, if you do want to, I'm available. Okay, so look, guys, Mike and Rheanan, they're two of my closest friends. We've known each other for years. Why don't you both give a bit of an introduction about yourselves? Say as much or as little as you like about yourselves. Why don't you give yourselves a bit of fun facts and also just talk about how you met each other and just introduce yourself to the Full Circle Nation.
Right, okay. Well, Deb and I go a very long way back. We first met in 2010 when I thought you were a Bulgarian fresher, which I was very mistaken about that. You didn't like me for that at the beginning, but we quickly became firm friends. We went to medical school for 6 years together, and that cemented our friendship. And fun fact about me, I have lots of interests. I have lots of very divergent interests. So I'm very into motorcycling. I'm very into jazz. I'm very into my work as a doctor. There are not that many people that do all those things, so I say that's a bit different.
And going to say nothing about me. Thank you very much, Mr. Goodens. This is so rude.
I'd leave that to you. I'd leave it to you.
So I met Deb before you did, actually, in 2010, also at medical school. So we've been friends going a long way back. Also insulted him when I first met him. Maybe there's a theme here, Deb, and perhaps it's not me or Michael. And met Michael at medical school as well. So we've been together pretty much since the year after we met Deb.
Yeah, I should mention that I'm married to Rheanan. Should mention that.
Just add that in there at the end. And yeah, a fun fact about me, also a doctor, and that's about it.
Fun.
Yeah. Very fun. Look, these guys are absolute legends. Been through all the ups and, maybe a few downs at med school, but it was, an incredible time. And we've kept in touch since, meeting up quite regularly. Every Christmas we meet up with a few other friends, and that's really fun. And every so often we just hit it up in the towns of wherever we are, living it large and just having a great time. So Mike and Rheanan have created their own Full Circle this week, and I guess we might as well just go straight into the first song. What do you reckon? What's the first song going to be?
Brilliant, yeah, why not? So our first song for the Full Circle is going to be a tune called "Felt Too Good" by Jessie Gold. That is a song. When did we first hear this? It was within the last year, I would say.
2024?
Yeah, maybe 2024. We were on a trip abroad in Munich with two good friends of ours. Shout out Callum and Laura. And this was an artist who was performing there, and we just really loved this song. It was the first time he'd ever performed it live, and it just really gelled with us. We like to play it on a sort of a slow Sunday morning. It's very sort of chill vibes. So hope you like it.
Amazing. Yeah, check that song out. Jessie Gold, "Felt Too Good," the first song on the Full Circle this week. Okay, let's go straight on to our first feature. What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Would you rather? So, would you rather, the feature that makes some people a bit worried and makes some people excited for? I don't know. How do you?
I'm a little bit nervous, actually, Dev. I'm not sure what you're going to bring out for us.
What sort of questions do you think I'm going to ask?
I don't know. The problem with Would You Rather is that you'd never rather any of them. So
Look, for a lot of them, I've chosen two things. So it's related. So most of it's related to you guys. Some of it's a little bit more like standard, like what everyone might want to rather or not do. They're both things that you probably want to do, but which one would you rather do more? That's probably what I've gone for.
Oh, that's the total opposite of what I thought you were going to do.
Off the air.
Yes, we've known you for a long time. This is not our normal Deb. So
Okay, let's go. Okay. Would you rather, okay, a good one to start with, I think. Would you rather, and it's very, very, like I say, very, very good for you guys. Would you rather relax at Ronnie Scott with some smooth jazz or go on a full-blown rave at Drum Sheds or any other DMB establishment?
Oh, I think I know what I'd rather, but I think that's more difficult for you. I'm going with the full DMB rave.
Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting. I was going to say relax at Ronnie Scott's. Okay. I would enjoy both of those things. But for me, Ronnie's is a very special place. If you ever get the chance to go in London, absolutely brilliant jazz club. And it's hard to turn up the opportunity to go there, especially now that I've left London. So that would be my choice.
See, whereas I think I'm a bit of a child at heart and actually would love any opportunity to go out and have a rave. And you have to be quiet and Ronnie's, and I'm not very good at that.
Can confirm.
I mean, yeah, no, fair. And I think I wondered if that was going to be the choices between you
Who
two.
are you joining is the question, Deb.
Yeah, which would you rather?
Hang on. Hang on. This isn't. No.
Full circle.
This shouldn't be turned back on me. Look, let's be honest. No.
I know your answer.
Ronnie,
You'll go. Oh, come on.
Yeah, look, I think you know my feelings about jazz music, but you know, like at the end of the day, like I respect every jazz musician. I mean, I love the fact that you know, to see you. I mean, I'll be allowed to say this. You performed at Ronnie Scott's.
I used to, yeah.
Incredible. I mean, like, how many people can say that? Not many. I mean, that's incredible. How many people can say they're a jazz musician, a neurosurgeon, and a motorbike rider? Like, how many people can say that? You can.
Well, and I do frequently.
Yeah, okay, no, amazing. Yeah, I would go for the DMB. Although I would say this, I'm not a fan of Drum Sheds. Have you been to Drum Sheds?
Never been to Drum Sheds.
No, I haven't.
No, okay, fine. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend. Sorry to anyone that goes to Drum Sheds. Would you rather, this is a bit more not like just for you two,
Okay.
but would you rather eat something forever that causes a 50% chance of a life-threatening reaction, so like anaphylaxis essentially, but you can, if as long as you got the adrenaline and all that sort of stuff, it's fine. Or eat something forever where you have a 0.01% chance of being poisoned and you're dead forever.
Ooh.
So a 1 in 1,000 chance. So every meal you've got a 1 in 1,000 chance of dying, or every meal where you've got a 50% chance of having anaphylaxis, but chances are you're probably going to be okay if you've got the adrenaline.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. The trouble with the 1 in 1,000 chance of dying is that you've basically got 1,000 meals left, statistically. So that is pretty life-limiting.
Maybe you just don't eat.
Well, that's pretty life-limiting as well.
You can go, 7 days? So then 7,000 days?
I suppose
before
you can
go-
stretch out the 1,000 days. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Whereas the adrenaline, it kind of depends how likely. You probably didn't want so much rationalization here, but it depends how likely the adrenaline is to work. So if we're talking anaphylaxis where it's so bad that you can't even get the adrenaline in and it's just a nightmare, then maybe then that's worse, because we're talking 1 in a 50% chance every time you eat.
I think I'd go for the poison, Your life would be pretty crap if every other meal you had anaphylaxis.
Yeah, it would. I think that's fair. Poison it is.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate.
That one, I know it's only a 0.01% chance, but the first meal you could.
It could. Yeah. We're working on the premise of 1,000.
I know. Damn you and your statistics, Deb.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I probably would go for an anaphylaxis, because at least, it's a bit annoying 50% of the time to like always have that reaction and get adrenaline in me. But I'm assuming the adrenaline works like 99% of the time.
Couldn't you
But
just
then if
pre-medicate?
99% in the time, then 1 in 100 you would die. So you might die quicker than you would with a poison.
True.
Couldn't you-
99.99.
Can't you pre-medicate with the adrenaline? So you could just take the adrenaline before every meal.
Does it stop working if you use it lots?
Should we know
Should
these
we
sort
know
of things?
this?
Look, I'm psychiatric.
Oh dear.
Okay, next one. Bit more tailored for you guys. Would you rather always travel by car or by motorbike?
I'm a fair weather rider. Michael knows this. I do quite like being the passenger on the back of the bike, but when the sun is beating down, we have our comms system so we can chat, we can listen to music. As soon as the slightest bit breezy, cold, rainy, boring, then I want a roof over my head. So yeah, always by car.
Oh yeah, it's tricky. Ever since I started riding a bike, I've always also driven a car because of there are lots of convenience factors. I absolutely love riding, but it is a little bit annoying when you need to take lots of gear somewhere, and that's very hard to do. But never to ride again would be a big shame. So I think I'm going to have to go with the bike.
Michael has, I think, on 2 occasions now lost or almost lost a mobile phone to torrential rain whilst on the motorbike, including the first time he collected his first ever motorbike.
Yes.
It got soaked in his inside pocket and was very dead by the time he got home.
That is true. Yeah, it's all about the gear, unfortunately, which I did not have.
Would you rather work like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and be on call like one full weekend a month, i.e., you're on call all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day and night Saturday, all day and night Sunday, or work Monday to Thursday, 9 to 9, but you have to work 2 weekend days a month, so a Saturday one weekend and a Sunday another weekend, but it's only just during the day, so no nights. Pay is exactly the same.
Who's working the Friday in the second one?
Oh, no, that's just
Thought experiment.
the rotor. It's the rotor.
Experiment, yeah.
That's the bit you just have to ignore. Yeah.
For me, the first option sounded quite dreamy. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then you just have a tough weekend once a month. I quite like that.
Yeah, I think we quite value having our weekends to do other things as well. So if you lost like 2 weekends a month.
Well, you'd be losing 2 weekends a month, and you'd be losing 4 evenings a week.
Yeah.
Because you'd be working till 9 p.m. every night.
Yeah. That would grate on you after quite a short period of time. Yeah.
It would.
Okay. Agreed.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, there's people that do these 12-hour shifts consistently.
Yeah. I mean, all of the nurses in the hospital, the porters, there are plenty of people we work with who are doing 12 hours all the time, actually. And we're very lucky that we get to do theoretical 9 to 5s most weeks.
Would you rather... Okay, this is the last one now. Last one. Would you rather never go to a motorbike event or never go to a music gig / festival?
Never go to a motorbike event. And I have really enjoyed MotoGP. I'm not saying that just for the sponsorship that we're hoping will come in the next half an hour, but really, really enjoy going to music gigs and festivals. We've been to Glastonbury together a few times as a threesome with other friends, and actually we've really valued going to some different concerts and festivals this last kind of 12 months and have realised it's something that is quite important to me. So yeah, definitely always rather go to music gigs and festivals than never go to a motorbike event.
Yeah, these are both things that we like to do. And you have just caught me at the end of a weekend at a motorbike event. I'm quite motivated for that at the moment. But on balance, we go to more music events, and there's more variety in music events. So I think probably we're on the same page with that. I wouldn't want never to be able to go to a music event ever again. So it's got to be that.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, there was some. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't that bad, was it? What did you think? What did you think I was going to ask you? I'm curious to know. What would you rather? I was going to ask you. Please share.
I don't think I had any specifics. I thought they were all going to be a choice between a rock and a hard place, and I was going to be agreeing on air all these things that I wanted to do, and yeah.
Fair enough.
And you knew I thought that as well. You knew it.
I did, and I asked some tough ones during the MotoGP. I asked some tough ones during the MotoGP, which you can't share.
Yeah. And I answered.
Yeah. Very surprising. Message Mike if you want the deets. Right, how do we get from Jessie Gold felt too good to the next song?
So this is quite an easy link. So Jessie Gold was supporting the next artist in concert, and actually this next artist was the reason that we flew out to Berlin and to Munich in the first place. We've been following them for quite a while, and this was a fantastic gig. So Jessie was their support artist. The band is Lawrence, and the song, which we danced to in a telephone box in Berlin just before we saw them at the gig, is Guy I Used to Be.
Yeah, Lawrence are a fantastic band. I suppose you'd call them soul pop. So it's quite it's very soulful but easy listening. Really good beats. Really good performances. It's two front people who are siblings, so a brother and sister, both of whom have got fantastic voices, and the whole band is really talented. They do a really energetic show. They're from New York, but they play all over Europe, and they come to the UK as well. So if you're into that kind of music, then I would fully recommend going and seeing them live.
We saw them actually twice on this tour because we enjoyed the gig in Munich so much that when they came over to Manchester, we went to see them again. They're a great band, really good live, excellent energy, well worth checking out.
Amazing. So check that out on the playlist. All right, quick feature coming up. We're going to give some shout outs. Okay, so some people requested for a shout out after I put a story if anyone wanted a shout out. And I'm going to give 4 people a shout out. These are 4 people you know. 2 of them you know really well. 2 of them you've been acquaintances with, but I still want to give them a shout out if you don't mind. So the first person I'm going to give a shout out, and you've already alluded to the couple, but one of them wanted a shout out. His name is Callum Gillis. Boom. Nice. God. Tell me about your interactions and how you know Callum and all that sort of stuff.
So shout out to Callum, who was the best man at our wedding. One of both Michael and I's very best friends. Sorry, Deb, you're in the mix as well, though, don't worry. But yeah, we've known Callum since university. Michael a little bit longer than I have, but he's a very firm friend of ours and has been for a long time. We really value his friendship.
That's right. I met Callum. In a show. If anybody went to UCL back in the day and remembers that there was a theatre called the Garage Theatre, we used to do jazz shows there, and I met him in a show called Ladies of Jazz. I don't think either of us was being a lady of jazz in the show. And friendship blossomed from there, really. We've known each other a very long time. Big honour to give a shout out to him in Full Circle today.
If anybody who lives in London has ever been woken up by 2 men singing Me and My Shadow at roughly 3 a.m. in the morning in the Soho area, I can guarantee that will have been Michael and Callum.
It was, obviously, because you guys know him, I've met him over the years, got to really properly know him from your stag do and also at the wedding. Really top guy. And shout out to him. And thank you so much, Callum, for listening to the show as well. What an absolute don. Fair play. Really appreciate that. Next person, I'll leave this one because I think it's more someone I know and you guys probably know a little bit of. To one of my really good friends from Coventry, shout out to Ciarn Mustafi. Boom. Yeah, top guy. We've known each other since school and in secondary school. Always been there. He's been a host during the radio days, and actually that's something I'll mention in a second as well. And he's also done features on the live show Ciarn or No Ciarn, where we guest. We had to get these are real Ciarns or not. And Who Wants to Know Ciarn Mustafi, which was just like what so it'd be like Ciarn Mustafi, tea or coffee.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. I know you guys have met him at house parties and things, so you probably
a few years since we've seen Ciarn actually.
Yeah, it is a few years. Great guy though. Great guy.
Yeah. And that just reminded me actually about talking about the previous shows. I mean, I've actually both had you on shows before, but separately. I've had you on with someone else, and I also had you on by yourself.
Yeah, I've been on the show. This is my 3rd time actually on the Full Circle. Yeah, over many years. We're talking over 14 years.
Through each iteration, actually, right? He's been on the UCL radio show and then also on the recorded.
You could say I've been by your side at every turn.
And Rheanan, who was also you were on when I was doing it in the 5th year of you in the Resurrection. Yeah. And do you remember what your DJ name was?
Well, so I did not remember this until Deb kindly reminded me the other day, but I am the artist formerly known as DJ Buckster.
Yeah. So if anyone has access to Mixcloud, if anyone can find these episodes and want to listen to them, check
Please
them out.
I will be looking for this.
And obviously, the answer is yes here, but I assume you guys prefer being together doing a show together than separately, right? Right?
I'm having fun.
Yeah, really having fun.
I thought the answer was going to be no drama.
Sorry, did we spoil your...
You're just trying to create marital drama. I see this.
Okay, so yeah, next shout out. Someone who is also a motorbike rider, MotoGP fan. Shout out to Rheanan Mystery.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a plastic surgeon, big motorbike fan as well, MotoGP fan. And you guys met him at a house party, I think, and vibed over a motorbike. And
Yeah, we did. I remember. Yeah, I mean, he's got a very, very beautiful Ducati. And I remember us having conversations about surgical specialties. And yeah, he's a great guy. I hope he's doing well.
And sorry that you weren't able to make it to the MotoGP, Rheanan. We were hoping to see you this weekend, but unfortunately he's been ill, so get well soon.
yes, get well soon. And final shout out is to the one, the only, a full circle ambassador, Katinder Singh Ferrin.
Boom, 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 boom.
So another one we've been since the medical. Do you know what? You guys, I might actually get you guys. I might actually take that boom, boom, boom and like just make that the shout out.
Make it the shout out.
Just so we can do a bah, 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 bah.
So yeah, so Katie, great. Yeah, and yeah, we've known her since I think like maybe not straight away. I think it took I can't remember.
I knew Katie from PDS, which most people won't even know what PDS is, but it's just part of the curriculum in our medical school. Is that what happened?
Yeah, and then I think we met Katie when we were introduced to her on the 4th row of the lecture theatre, which very much became our spot for the rest of our undergrad years. So they are our 4th row. She's part of our 4th row crew, one of the medic Christmas lot as well. So a very valued friend, and we love getting together with her. We don't do it as often as we would like, actually, especially now that we have migrated north, but love Katie.
Also, huge congratulations to Katie for getting a consultant job recently.
Yeah, congratulations. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. So yeah, so that's the shout outs for this week. Now, do you guys, I mean, obviously you can say no, but did you guys want to give any shout outs to anyone on the spot?
So I want to give a shout out to the full Pat Bullock-Cairnson family, the name of our Facebook Messenger group. I'm using this to make sure that they listen to your podcast, DC. So we should have some extra listens from this week on, please.
Boom, 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 boom.
I've kind of already given a shout out to Callum and Laura before you even did, but I don't want to miss out Laura and their brand new baby son Jasper. So big shout out to the whole family.
And we'd just like to say Jasper is definitely our favourite of the trio.
You have to redact that, I'm afraid.
Amazing. Right. Lawrence, Guy I Used to Be. How does that link to the next song?
So this is a bit of a sneaky one, in fairness, in that we've kind of used Lawrence twice because, as you can probably tell, we really, really like the band. But the next artist links to this band because she featured Gracie Lawrence, the lead singer from Lawrence, in this particular track. The track is a banger. I quite like the artist. I'm not sure Michael's so bothered, but I've strong-armed him into this one.
Well, it's a great track, though. It's a great track. I'm fully on board.
And so this is Meghan Trainhor featuring Lawrence with Crushing.
And tell us a bit more about... the only thing I know about Meghan Trainhor is, didn't she do that song all about that bass? That's the only thing I know about it. Sorry to all the Meghan Trainhor fans, and so to you guys for sort of not knowing a bit more about her.
Yeah, I don't know way more about her than that, but yeah, definitely she was part of this sort of this sound that sort of slightly harked back to sort of older jazz versions of modern pop songs, and that sparked a whole thing at the time. But yeah, no,
I think she was a real ambassador for kind of women in terms of how they look. She has lost a little bit of weight since then, but still is a real strong proponent of kind of looking after yourself and being who you want to be, and more importantly, is married to Daryl Sabara, who was one of the Spy Kids kids.
So Junie.
So she's Junie from Spy Kids' wife, which I think is very cool. And if you ever see their videos, he is her biggest fan, which is very cute.
Oh, that's always great to see, isn't it? Yeah. I really enjoy that. Right, okay, Meghan Trainhor, Crushing. Check that song out. I certainly will. All right, it's time for another feature. And this feature is something that I did with Abby. And we spoke about sort of like our favourite moments together. So I'd be like, favourite this, favourite that. Now, I know it might be difficult to sort of pin it down to one thing. So obviously just talk about, more than one if you need to. But I'm just going to ask you just a few of your favourite moments together. Just you two. Just you two, like a favourite moment. But I'll give you like a category.
This is our favourite moments with each other, not with you.
Not with me.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's plenty of those as well.
Oh,
plenty of those.
You have to say that. I'm here. Okay. What was your favourite holiday together?
That is a hard one. I mean, I think I could probably rank top 3.
Yeah, with it. Well, we've had some
But
good trips.
Favorite probably is our honeymoon, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair because when you go on your honeymoon, it's just obviously very special, and you just give yourself permission to go to really cool places and do really amazing things. So
Yeah, so we took a trip out to Indonesia, spent a few days in Bali, relaxing, kind of sat by the pool. We went to a couple of beautiful, beautiful hotels looking out over rice paddies and really allowed ourselves to kind of de-stress basically after what had been a pretty hectic wedding weekend. But then we're not one for sitting around for too long. So after that, we flew out to the jungle in Indonesia and did some jungle trekking where we were really lucky enough to see wild orangutans like fairly up close and personal. Standard of accommodation was slightly different when we got out into the jungle.
yeah, I mean, we were just lying underneath the underneath the forest canopy, basically out there. But we had an amazing time and learned loads about the kind of the habitats for the orangutan and deforestation and palm oil and got quite interested and invested in some of those topics, which was kind of an unexpected offshoot of going on honeymoon, you know. So yeah, I would say that's definitely my top as well.
And I do have a very good anecdote of Michael in the jungle that I think is worth sharing at this point. So the hotel we stayed at before we left for the jungle was called On the Rocks. It was called On the Rocks because it was literally on a hill that was a pile of rocks. And I think there was 300 and something steps from the bottom of the hill to the actual hotel. Because we were on our honeymoon, we didn't carry backpacks. We had like big full suitcases. I had a bikini for every day, 15 pairs of shorts. You know, I was not going to scrimp. And so when we got down there was someone there to help carry our bags. And he said, "Oh, these are very heavy." Looked at Michael and said, "I think you might need to pay someone to carry the suitcase up." There was no way Michael was paying someone to carry the suitcase up. So he throws it over his shoulder. He starts hiking up these stairs. Maybe halfway up, the guy looks at him, red in the face, really struggling, and says to Michael, "Do you want to stop?" And Michael just stared at him and went, "Do you want to stop?"
Oh. Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
Not one to be defeated.
A little bit of machismo there. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. No, love that. Love that. No, that's great. No, that's incredible. No, it sounds like an absolutely incredible experience. What's been your favourite gig that you guys have done? I know there's been a few.
Oh,
I'll let you go first for this one.
yeah, it's a tough one. We've been to loads of great gigs, and we've been to gigs that are more aimed at the music that I like, more aimed at the music that Rheanan likes, and then we've explored bands that are kind of somewhere in the middle that we both like. We've also been to a lot of festivals where you don't really feel like you're just going to one gig, but you're just kind of exploring. I think I'm going to say Taylor Swift.
Are you? Oh, that
Taylor Swift.
surprises me, Michael Cairns.
It's a big curveball. It's a big curveball. So we went to see Taylor Swift because it was on Rhiannon's side of the spectrum. I was really amazed at how big the whole thing was. You know, we went up to Murrayfields in Edinburgh. It was completely packed out. I don't think I've ever heard a noise as loud as the screaming at that gig. And it felt like the peak moment for her as an artist in terms of that tour. And, you know, most of the other bands that I've seen have been, you know, 20 years after their peak moment. So that was quite an amazing thing to be there for. And I know that Rhiannon, well, she loved it so much that actually I was at the...
This paints me in a bad light.
I was at the back, actually, and Rhiannon was up at the front standing. So maybe I'm picking the wrong gig, as I'm picking the only gig where we weren't actually together during the gig. So...
Shout out to our friends Laura and David Desai and Elspeth Murray for looking after Michael for me during that gig, while I had lots of fun at the very front.
I mean, look, you've explained it really well, but I know that, you know, don't call me a conspiracist, but I would have, you know, have you done anything wrong recently to, yeah. You're talking to a puppet right now. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to paint you in a bad light, but what was that Taylor Swift song that was a bit tricky for you to remember yesterday?
Yeah, that's a fair comment. No, but we've been to loads of brilliant gigs. The other one that came to mind was a little band that probably no one's ever heard of called Phoenix Solar. Don't know if you remember them, but we saw them in, would it be of Glastonbury 2013?
Yeah, it was the first last day.
We were just exploring around the small tents, and we just happened upon this band that was just doing really interesting stuff. Nobody had ever heard of them, and just had a banging time. It's one of those great things that can come out of festivals where you somehow just discover a band that you didn't know.
Yeah, you've actually just reminded. I wondered if you were going to mention them because you played one of their songs on the show. I believe either you or it might have been you, Rheanan.
I might have
it was
done.
you.
I might have done.
And I think you played Stop and Stare.
Yeah, that is by them.
Yeah, and I really liked it.
It's good, isn't it?
I've actually listened to all of their albums since then.
Oh,
genuinely, I haven't listened to them in ages now. But when you played it, I listened and I was like, yeah, I wish I saw them.
You are good that way because you do follow up on these things, and if you like it, then you do go away and listen back to the stuff they've done.
Have you listened? Are they still going on? I don't know much about their current status.
I've not seen anything very recently.
No, I can't say. I am not someone who's particularly. I won't follow a band and follow it through very often. I know I like what I like, but so I love Taylor Swift. Tay-Tay, I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but actually, as much as I'm a Swiftie, I don't listen to all of her music just because it's Taylor Swift. So the last couple of albums for me have not been quite as good. And I'm all right with that. I think some of her earlier stuff is fantastic. I still think she's a great artist. I really admire what she does, but I won't listen to every album by every band just because it's a band that I like.
No, fair enough. And finally, what's been your, I know this is hard, but what's been your favourite moment together? Like if you've got this moment where you're like, oh wow, like just it doesn't have to be like the whole thing, but just like this moment that happened and that was just incredible. Like what's been your favourite moment together?
I answered the last one first.
Put me on the spot. I mean, that's really hard. We've been together for 14 years now, so there's a lot of moments to choose from. I think probably I have to say, I'm going to be soppy for a second. I'm not soppy often. But on our wedding day, we took half an hour out to go to the beach, just me and Michael, and had our own little private first dance. And I think maybe that is one of my favourite moments in our relationship.
Fair enough. I'm going to go back to the other end of our relationship and say that when we met, we were tied together for a 3-legged pub crawl. And that has become a story that we've told and has sort of defined the way that we first met and how we first sort of got together. So if that hadn't happened, I don't know what then would have happened afterwards. So, sort of shout out to that moment.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I remember that I was tied to someone and then they said they needed to go to a toilet and then they didn't return.
Oh, what do you see?
Deb.
I can't remember their name was, but whoever it was at medical school, I'm not happy.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Maybe we should get them onto the full circle to explain themselves.
So if it's you and you're listening, give Deb a message and we'll get you on. You can tell your side of the story.
Based on that story, I don't know if they will be listening, but it's worth a go.
Oh, dear. No, incredible. No, absolutely incredible. No, it sounds like you've done so many amazing things together. I know it's so hard to just, say these things. So many incredible things you guys have done. And yeah, no, absolutely amazing.
And can I actually shout out to what is one of our favourite nights with Deb, which came up on my Facebook memories yesterday, which was the picture of us from our graduation ball. Which actually the three of us, along with everyone else from medical school, obviously, went out to a massive hotel in the countryside and had a really nice night. And we've got a very cute picture. Maybe we can even share it on the Instagram Reels of the three of us together from our Rums finalist ball.
Yeah. No, amazing. No, that was incredible, incredible time. And yeah, no, just amazing to reminisce and think about those memories. Okay, so how do we get from Meghan Trainhor crushing to the next song?
Yeah, so Meghan Trainhor's released some great albums. Rhiannon talked about her a little bit. She released this great album, Taking It Back. That came out on the same day as another great album, which, funnily enough, was by Taylor Swift. We've been talking about a lot. That Taylor Swift album was Midnights, and so we're going to play a song from that album, which is Anti-Hero.
And that is actually probably one of the few Taylor Swift songs I actually quite like.
Ooh, good choice then, Michael. Well done. Okay. I mean, I say good choice, Michael. It was clearly my choice.
Oh, amazing.
Couldn't get away with a full circle without having a little bit of Taylor Swift in there because that would have been rude.
Oh, dear. All right. So Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero. Really good song. Check that one out. I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but check it out if you haven't before. Okay. So it is time for the last feature.
Ooh.
We've got a neurosurgeon here. We've got a paediatric surgeon here. They're going to battle against each other on a pub quiz.
This is going to be very disappointing for everybody involved, I fear.
So there's lots of different categories. There's
Okay.
like film, music, other geography.
Oh,
And yeah, essentially it's a quiz to see who is more clever.
I can probably confirm this for you already, actually.
What, you're going to win, Mike?
No. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. I want to set the bar nice and low.
Okay.
I'll just take the victory if you want. We don't have to ritually humiliate you on the radio. We can just, hand me the medal now.
You never know. It depends how Deb has... I mean, Deb might have picked the questions directed at me. Yeah, it's possible that he's giving me a way out here.
What did Michael do on January the 2nd, 1993? Yeah. No, okay. The way I'll do it, just in case, like someone then I'll say the question. You have a few seconds to think. Actually, no. I'll say the first question. Rhiannon, you answer first for this one, and then Mike, and then we'll alternate. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So, first question. Actually, I'll just show you the question as well, so you can just see it at the same time. So, film. Which of these actors was not in Cats?
So random.
Rebel Wilson, Francesca Hayward, Jennifer Hudson, or Mike Myers?
Ooh. I think Rebel Wilson was in it.
Do you?
And I think Jennifer Hudson was in it. So I'm on the other two. I'm going to go Mike Myers.
I don't know who was or wasn't in it, but I can imagine Mike Myers being in it. I can. I can't imagine Rebel Wilson being in it. So I'm going to say Rebel Wilson.
Okay. I'm going to put Mike Myers down. And it was correct. It was Mike Myers. So Rhiannon's got 1. Mike is on 0.
So it begins.
Do you know who else was in it?
Well, clearly not.
Taylor Swift.
Oh! Gotta be kidding me.
I mean, it got panned as a film, isn't
So
it?
now we know.
You haven't seen.
Now we know how these questions have been biased. Which direction?
Whoa. What? Okay. Which of these films came out first? The Truman Show, The Silence of the Lambs, Groundhog Day, or Clueless? Mike, what do you reckon?
Oh, well, I don't know Clueless. So I don't know. That's probably quite an old one. But I feel like Silence of the Lambs is speaking to me. So I'm going to say Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh. So I would have said that as well, but now I feel the need to go different just for a little bit of...
I think you have to.
Now, tactically, if I were you, Rhiannon, you could just go for every single answer that Mike goes for, and you've won.
Oh!
Well,
It would be really
It would be really boring.
that would be a very paediatric surgeon thing to do, wouldn't it?
Rude.
Disclaimer, for anyone that's a paediatric surgeon, Mike did not mean that.
He really did. You can, if you see him throw tomatoes at him in the street, it's fine. I am going to go with Silence of the Lambs because it was my first thought, so I am going to stick with it, but not because Deb told me to.
Why didn't I go with Mike Myers? That's the question.
It was Silence of the Lamb. Well done. Well done. Okay. Rhiannon, you go first for this one. Who directed Fitzcarraldo? Werner Herzog, Francis Ford Coppola, Wim Wenders, or Wayne W. Fassbinder?
I don't know who any of these people are or what Fitzcarraldo is, so I'm going to go with Wim Wenders because it's a great name.
I would say it's between Werner Herzog and Francis Ford Coppola. Just based on the name, Fitzcarraldo, I'm going to say Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay, we'll go for yours then because you seem more confident.
Oh, it's Werner Herzog.
Herzog.
Surely I get half a point for being closer than Rhiannon there.
No,
Let's try.
you 50-50. That's always so frustrating.
Us neurosurgeons are scrappy, I mean, we'll take anything.
No, I'm sorry. Unlucky. Werner Herzog. Really unlucky. Okay, Mike, your turn. Rush was a film about which sport? American football, sprinting, baseball, or Formula One?
I've not seen it. And the name doesn't really give very much away. I suppose it implies it's sort of racy. Maybe that rules out American football and baseball. I'm going to say Formula One.
Okay, Rhiannon, what do you reckon?
I think I know this, and I think it's Formula One.
Oh, you know
I
it.
think.
So convenient that it's my answer. So
Could be
convenient.
entirely wrong here, and I'm going to look really stupid if I don't know it.
Okay, let's put Formula One on. Yeah, well done. Well done.
Well
Yeah.
done. Hang on, you mean well done me? I was the one that said it.
You both. Yeah.
No, you can't give Rhiannon the credit for this. Okay, go on.
Well done, Mike. And well done, Rhiannon. Okay.
Little neurosurgeon always needs someone to stroke his ego when he does something right.
And disclaimer, Rhiannon does mean that. Right. Okay, we're down to music. So, Rhiannon, it's your turn to answer. What Rolling Stones album was Gimme Shelter on? Let It Bleed, Exile on Main Street, Sticky Fingers, or Beggars Banquet?
So we have seen them perform this song live at Glastonbury 2013, and I have no idea. So I'm going to go Let It Bleed.
It's embarrassing that I don't know the answer to this. I hope James Pallister isn't listening because he will absolutely destroy me if you're not knowing the answer to this question. I was also thinking Let It Bleed, though. I was. So let's see.
Okay, yeah, because you're at the issue you have is that, yeah, if you go for the same answer, it still doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? But if you think that is the answer, then you have to go for it, obviously.
The trouble is that if it's the answer and I go with another one, then it's a bigger lead, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well done, you can do maths.
It is Let It Bleed.
I just think
It's just a shame Rhiannon's getting these questions right. That's the issue.
that is a shame, yeah.
So just to confirm, I think Rhiannon, you're on 3 points, and Michael, you're on 2.
I think I was on 4, wasn't I?
Footsteps in the Dark is a song by which band? Earth, Wind and Fire, The Temptations, the Isley Brothers, or Kool and the Gang?
Oh, tricky. Don't know the song. I don't think it's an Earth, Wind and Fire song. Kool and the Gang, I sort of think of them as a bit of a one-hit wonder. So I'm going to say the Isley Brothers.
I had narrowed it down to the Isley Brothers and the Temptations, so for a bit of fun, we'll go with the Temptations.
I'm going to click the Isley Brothers. It was the Isley.
Right, well done.
Well done. So you've clawed it back 3-3. That was very good of you, Rhiannon. You did not need to do that. That was very good of you. 3-3. Okay. What was Nas's debut album, Rhiannon? The Chronic, Stillmatic, Illmatic, or It Was Written?
I do not know. We're going to go with It Was Written, because I think that's a very good name for an album, so I'm hoping that was what Nas went with.
It's weird that Stillmatic and Illmatic are two of the choices. I can't believe that both of them are albums in their own right, but maybe they are. I also don't have a clue. Rhiannon's probably more clued in on Nas than I am. So It Was Written.
So you go for It Was Written as well? Yeah, I mean, the only one I definitely know it's not. It's a Chronic, because do you know the album The Chronic?
No.
Dr. Dre's.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
So let's go for It Was Written. Illmatic.
Ooh, Illmatic.
Interesting.
See, I thought you were going to go with one of those because I thought you were getting at the fact that they were both there meant that it must be...
Yeah, but it was then have been 50-50 still, right?
I thought it was Illmatic. And yeah, I also thought it must be one of those because they had them both together. But it is what it is, 3-3. Okay, Mike, where is Dolly Parton from? Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, or South Carolina?
I'd say not South Carolina. And all the rest of the states are in the Deep South. She could really be from any of them, but I think given the history of music in Tennessee, I'm going to say Tennessee.
Okay.
So I don't know why I think she might actually be from South Carolina.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if that's just being really stupid, but I'll go with it.
Tennessee.
Tennessee it is.
Well done. Is she from Nashville?
Probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's say that. Anyone can correct us if needed. So that means Mike is taking the lead.
Oh.
4-3 to Michael. We're now moving on to geography. Which of these countries is not part of the Horn of Africa, Rhiannon? Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti, or Malawi?
This is where you start making me look really stupid. Thanks.
No problem.
I'm going to go with Djibouti.
Somalia and Eritrea are right adjacent to each other. So I think they're part of it. So I'm going to say Malawi.
Yeah.
Well done, Michael. Well done.
Well done, Mike. Well done. That was really, really good. 5-3 then.
Leaving the station.
Ooh.
Mike, how deep is the Mariana Trench? 8,000 metres, 12,500 metres, 5,280 metres, or 10,984 metres?
So this is the deepest part, the deepest part of all the oceans of the world, isn't it? I mean, 12.5 was speaking to me, but that is the biggest number. It seems quite wild. 12,500 metres. But let's go with it.
I feel like the fact that we've got 10,984 is very specific, so I'm going to go with that one.
And that's what I thought as well. Why have they got a number like that?
Clawing it back.
Yeah, it was just so. Why didn't they have them all like that? And then they just had this 10,984.
Well, they fooled me.
Rhiannon, Brisbane is in which Australian state? Queensland, Tasmania, New South Wales, or Victoria?
It's in Queensland.
Do you agree, Mike?
Oh, maybe it's not.
I think it's in New
New
South
South
Wales.
Wales.
Well, no, you've said Queen.
No, I know I've said Queensland, but I'm just
Yeah.
helping you along.
No, I think New South Wales.
Rhiannon's done you there. Rhiannon has done you.
Queensland.
I genuinely was trying to make up my mind. That was not me trying to pull you along, I promise.
Empty excuses.
Does that make it 5-5?
It does.
Oh.
Rhiannon knew what she was doing. Just in time for the last question.
Ooh.
So it's a bit of a picture one. I didn't realise. Apologies. So there's a flag. It's got three lines top to bottom. Orange. Is it orange? Top line orange?
Yeah, orange.
Green and red. Okay. So what country's flag is this? And it's Mike's turn to answer. So Mike, you do... Well, Rhiannon's got the advantage, I guess. But Luxembourg?
I suppose it makes sense that we should have different answers if it's the final one.
Yeah.
Yes, it would make sense. But what if you both know the answer? But let's say the choices first. Luxembourg, Lithuania, Bulgaria, or Romania. Now, do you both know the answer?
I can clarify that we both don't know the answer.
He is correct.
Okay, fine. Well, then just go for, yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't you think about it and tell me when you're both ready and then say it at the same time?
I think I'm ready for what I'm going to go
Okay.
with. Yeah.
And
I'm ready too. but-
okay, 3, 2, 1.
Romania.
Oh.
Okay.
In which case, I will take Bulgaria.
No. I'll do a bonus question.
Yeah, no, well, that's quite
I'll do a bonus question. Lithuania anyway. Okay, so it's 5-5. Here is the question to see who is better than each of.
Like Michael said, we already know the answer. We don't need to finish this quiz.
I've put up a reasonable fight.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be 5-0.
Okay, and the first one to answer wins.
Okay.
And if you answer wrong, then the other person automatically wins.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yep.
Harsh rules, yeah.
Who came fourth in the MotoGP yesterday?
And you're looking it up. I love it.
Morbidelli.
Well, I don't have to give an answer. You have to confirm, right? She gave it first.
Building the tension. You're right.
Yes. Shake hands. Well done.
Well played.
Oh, no, unlucky. Look, really close. I mean, like, let's call it a draw.
Okay.
But
fair
Rhiannon-
relationship.
No, I think you won. I think you won outright, fair and square. I don't know. That was Morbidelli. That was a good little bit of pull that out of the bag.
There you go.
Yeah, fair play. I wouldn't have got that. Fair play.
No, yeah.
Okay, fine. We are now on to the last song of the full circle. So what is the last song from Taylor Swift Antihero?
So the final song takes us from Taylor Swift Antihero to another slightly small band called Lake Street Dive. And the link between these two is that Taylor Swift grew up and kind of found herself musically in Nashville, Tennessee. And Rachel Price, the lead singer of Lake Street Dive, also grew up in Tennessee, and kind of that was where she began musically as well. So this is Lake Street Dive, and the song is called Good Together.
Amazing. And how does that link to the first song of the full circle?
We've disappointed Michael a little bit, I think, here in a very tenuous link to try and squeeze in some songs that we really like to listen to, which means I'll let you be the person that tells everyone why it's linked together.
Well, I don't know how tenuous it is. I mean, Good Together is promoting. It's quite tenuous. It's quite tenuous. Both Good Together by Lake Street Dive and Felt Too Good by Jesse Gold are promoting a vibe of feeling good overall.
It's got the word good in it.
It's got the word good in it.
Oh, word good in it. Sorry. Okay.
Hence completing the full circle. Well done, guys. Woo! Amazing. Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute honor. It's been so fun to have you both. Thank you so much for being up for this, and I've had a really fun time. Do you guys have any departing words to the Full Circle Nation before we give our final goodbyes?
Are we allowed to use the DC parting words?
Oh, do you want to do it? Do you guys want to end the show?
Why not?
Yeah, we'll do it as a trio.
I'm not going to say it. I think you guys can end it together.
Okay, so to the Full Circle Nation, thank you for listening, and stay safe and don't eat
beef.